Success is a series of intentional, cumulative actions. If you had a mentor that would begin from ground zero, are you ready to bring something to the table? Hi, Eli's dad here. Welcome to Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. It's always a good idea to begin a project by asking, why? Why am I here? Why should you be here? Well, there are two major reasons I'm here. First, part of being a child means having an insatiable hunger for new knowledge and techniques that generate progress. Did you know that young children typically ask 300 questions a day? Are you still a child? I know I am. Like many of you that love your children, I love my son. His name is Eli. It's a great responsibility to raise a child, and your chief obligation as a parent is to prepare your child to be the best that he or she can be. The obligation of a parent or mentor is to give the mentee the tools that are needed to succeed. Second, I don't believe that our education system does a complete enough job. You know, tiny tweaks can make big changes. My ambition is to tweak the system so that in addition to teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic, the 3 R's, they add some additional R's. That is, that to be a success requires repetition, research, rhythm, resolve, and reflection. That's the formula for results. Combining these two passions is what brings me here today. Now, my background in business as a teacher and as a coach gives me the skills that I need. My plan is to start at ground zero and to mentor Eli with the what, why, and how-to blueprints that will enable him to accomplish his goals and achieve his life's purpose. Now, we're going to start today at ground zero with some hacks on how to learn and how to focus. Coming attractions include, but are not limited to, creating blueprints to have a positive mental attitude, the success formula and how to set goals, roadblocks and how to overcome them, leadership, and the ownership manual for your brain. So why should you be here? Well, too many people live their lives by accident instead of by intention. Until we learn how to think, we become victims of rules, regulations, and programs. There's a very strong likelihood that there are elements of success that you need to learn. In fact, the odds of that being reality are 19 to 1. Second, because my efforts are aimed at my teenage son, this is an opportunity for you and me both to form a tighter bond with our children. I encourage you to go through these videos together. It'll become a positive bonding experience that you may both look forward to. It will also show you both how simple daily discipline and good habits will improve your life. It will generate a culture of accountability and fun. And there's nothing more energizing and bonding than progress. Remember, you are your habits, and then your habits become you. And remember also that good habits are easy to do and easy not to do. So, if you have determined that you need to establish a new direction for success and are willing to tweak your current blueprint, or if you're just getting started and you need a mentor, welcome. So whether your motivation is individual personal development or family personal development, I give you permission to eavesdrop on Project Eli, to educate, lead, and inspire. And boy, am I glad we didn't name him Seymour. Additionally, I promise to make Project Eli as much fun as I possibly can, which brings us to our relationship. In my research about how to make a successful video, one piece of advice was to number your points in the title or thumbnail. My first actual thought was, what the heck is a thumbnail? But anyway, one of the things that I'm not going to say is, in today's video, I'm going to give you 3 powerful ways to pick your nose with your toes. And when you use your left foot, it'll really be a game changer. Mentors don't speak to their students like that. There is no one single game changer. Success is a cumulative effort. Now, when I speak to you, I'm also speaking to my son. So my words will come from the heart and not from the keister. Therefore, I'm not going to have a thumbnail that exposes the fear of belly button lint and how to overcome it. When a mentor chooses a pupil, it's because the mentor believes that the student brings something to the table. If you can't catch a basketball, not even Michael Jordan can help you become a good basketball player. Mentors don't waste their time with trivial excuses on why something cannot get done. Now, I'm not here to make Eli weak. I'm here to make him strong. Therefore, I will take it for granted that you bring something to the table beside your appetite. One more why question before we begin. Why will this work for you? The answer is that over time, technologies change, and technology changes lifestyle. Obvious example, the internet and cell phones. What doesn't change are fundamentals and principles. The same formula for success works today that worked in biblical times. Technology doesn't change the necessary thinking steps needed to achieve. So let's lock arms, think together, and begin. Let's start with conscious learning. Now, did you ever find yourself unconsciously singing along with the song on the radio while you're driving someplace? How did you learn the words and the rhythm of the song? It's because you listened to that particular song many times, and through that repetition, you owned the material well enough to accurately sing along. For most of you, this is not the first personal development video that you've watched or listened to. To be candid, some of them are crap. Oh, did I say that out loud? But some of them do have some very good content. If you're consciously pursuing progress and success and want to own the material, it's necessary to repetitively put it into your brain. Just as you learn the song lyrics and the song's rhythms through unconscious repetition, you can own material of substance the same way. Turn your car into Drive Time University. Successful people have the habit of turning quantity time into quality time. This is one of their hacks. If you're not doing this, to quote tennis great John McEnroe, you can't be serious. If all that you're doing is listening to something of substance once, you're not learning. You're just being entertained, and you're fooling yourself. Now, Zig Ziglar said that if you listen to something 16 times, you own it. It took me 16 times to learn that. Let me give you an example. Years ago, when I was just a puppy, working in the wonderful world of commission sales only, my first commission sales only job, I lived in the Santa Cruz area, in the Monterey Bay, but my office was in San Jose, which is about a 45 or 50-minute drive. In order to sell what I was selling, you needed to have a license. It took a couple of months for the license to come through. Anyway, I would go for training every single day from Santa Cruz to San Jose. If you've ever made that journey, you have to travel over the Santa Cruz mountains, and there's no radio reception there. So what did I do? Every day for 40 or 50 minutes going each way, I listened to a tape by a gentleman named Tom Hopkins. Tom Hopkins was the #1 salesperson of the day. I listened to this tape over and over and over and over until I knew every single close that he taught, every single nuance, every single change of reflection in his voice. I could do that tape perfectly. Meanwhile, back in my training in San Jose, they're teaching me presentation, they're teaching me how to knock on a door, they're teaching me how to make phone calls, they're teaching me all the things you need to know as a salesperson. Finally, one day, just before I was to go out and hit the field, I just got my license, they decided they were going to work on closes. So they went on closes and we were role playing. First this one role played, then that one role played, and then it was my turn. And they asked the question, and I closed. The only thing was, I was Tom Hopkins. When they heard my close, everybody in the room just sat there with their mouths open, and then they started clapping. I became Tom Hopkins. I learned all of his closes. From that point forward, I was the #1 salesperson in that office until I got promoted to manager. All right? And that was quite an achievement for me that I was very happy about. But anyway, I've included some additional learning hacks for you in the description box below. But don't forget, repetitive learning, feed your head, own the material. That's what's going to make it easier for you. Let's talk about concentration and focus. Your parents and your teachers constantly repeat the mantra, concentrate and focus. But did they show you how to do it? You must practice the skill of visualization. Why? Because people will never achieve what they cannot see themselves doing. So how do you focus? You develop habits that allow you to live your life intentionally and not by accident. One such habit is to discipline yourself to have quiet thinking time every day. Perhaps you meditate. Perhaps you repeat affirmations. Perhaps you journal. Excuse me. Here's my method. First, I have personal quiet time immediately upon awakening. I sit in a quiet place, in a comfortable chair. I listen to the same meditation first thing, every day. My mind is stilled, and singular thoughts take center stage. Fine-tuning and new options and new paradigms drift through my head. The seed that I purposely planted into my subconscious mind just before the transition was made from consciousness to sleep frequently provides new and different possibilities, but not always. Sometimes a revelation comes to me in the shower, or when I'm driving, or when I see or listen to an advertisement. You see, Eli, a planted seed comes to life when it wants to come to life, just as it does for the farmer. This too is cumulative. Thoughts do not come to us fully formed. They arrive in bits and pieces. Patience and consistency are the key elements. But you must plant your thoughts in fertile soil and expose them to relaxed sunshine to allow them to sprout. Quiet thinking time, perhaps 10 to 20 minutes. Always include a section for gratitude for what you have and to the universe, the provider that unties the knots. Visualize your desired outcomes in their completed form. Always focus on just the what and not the how during these visualizations. It seems that thoughts go through your mind faster than the speed of light. Discard the trivial and focus on the relevant. The purpose of focus is to achieve clarity. Without a specific target, there is no bullseye. Clarity removes distractions and mental clutter. Make sure that your control tower communicates with Prayer Force 1 before you reach the runway each day. Prayer means connecting with the universal planner and is not necessarily a religious endeavor, although it may be. I write down any phrase, idea, or thought that is worthy in my Talk Thoughts pages, my journal. Sometimes I have scraps of paper in my wallet with little notes that I transcribe later. Don't trust your memory. Do trust your intuition. When you receive a feeling or a nudge or an unusual or illogical vibe that you know is a message, make sure you can capture it. You may not utilize the tidbit for months, but your gut will tell you to write it down or send yourself a text. Do so and review it later. If you're not sure of your dream, use your focused thinking time to help you discover it. When your thinking returns to a particular area continuously, give that area more thought and see if anything evolves. And once you discover or identify your dream, move forward without hesitating. Mentoring does not just mean adding to the mentee. It also means subtracting destructive elements. The value of a mentor and a parent is not just in instruction, but also reflection. What we do is to help people self-discover what is already in them. Help people to arrive rather than just teach them. Now, next time we get together, our subject will be the blueprint for a positive mental attitude. If you don't want to miss that, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. If you're serious, don't forget the additional learning hacks that are in the description box below. Also, be a good friend. If you found this video added value for you, please share it with others with whom it will also have value. And remember always that intentional living means don't ration the passion, fashion the passion. And because we never end a meeting on a philosophical note, get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.